Hi, and welcome to another edition of Mike Finds Things, where we go out and find lots of great records at estate sales, thrift stores, wherever we can. This time we've got an estate sale lot. This came off of one of those companies that just does their estate sales online as an auction. I usually don't buy from those because often most of the time their pickup days are on Saturday or Sunday, which is when I'm filming car shows for my other channel. This time they had a pickup day of Friday, and the estate sale was actually 8 minutes from my house, so it all worked out. I did pick up a 45 lot. I spent $67 total with taxes and auction fees. It was $67 for the 45 lot. I've got them all separated by stuff that's more interesting than others, stuff that people would want. And then there's more that are probably like 50-cent dollar records that I'm not going to go into and bore you with that stuff. But a lot of times when you do these sales, when you go buy the stuff, there's two main companies, at least around here, that do them, are Carrying Transitions and Mac Sold. I've purchased lots from both of them. Both of them have gotten more popular, and so the prices have definitely gone up because people get into that auction fever. They were more popular during the pandemic when they couldn't do estate sales in person, but now usually the better estate sales are still in person, and kind of like the smaller ones where they don't have enough for a full estate sale, we'll do them online. So we're going to go into this, and actually, so I did buy, sometimes when you do these sales, you go and they have other stuff that they didn't put in the auction or that weren't paid for that you can purchase. So I bought a lot of 78s, as well as a clock radio, vintage clock radio. So I spent $15 on those two lots. So I don't even know how that would work out. But I'll show you some of the more interesting 78s I purchased. The rest of them were kind of just your normal run-of-the-mill stuff, and then we'll go into the 45s. So we'll start with the 1954 doo-wop record. Unfortunately, there's only one of these that's in really good shape. This is the Charms with Hearts of Stone on Deluxe. Not in too great a shape. I haven't had a chance to play these yet, and who knows on the other side. Sometimes 78s, even though they look bad, will actually play just fine. This one has a low of 3, mid of 5, high of 7 on Discogs. Again, I give that disclaimer about 78 prices on Discogs. Sometimes they are not correct because the 78 guys tend to like to sell their stuff elsewhere, buy elsewhere. Another one that's kind of interesting, probably not worth anything. I didn't even look up a value. Gene Krupa, which you find a lot, but it's the Chiquita Banana song on a Red Label Columbia from 1946. So we're just going to get that one out of the way because it's really, Gene Krupa Red Label Columbias generally aren't worth anything. But it was just kind of funny that it was a Chiquita Banana one. So I don't think I usually just see Gene Krupa and keep going whenever I go to sales because they're generally nothing. But everybody remembers the Chiquita Banana song. Another one that's kind of interesting, it's a 1947 swing record on Cardinal. On Discogs, it's showing a low of 4, mid of 19, high of 35. This one does have a couple edge chips that don't go into the music. Charlie Barnett with Cherokee. And the new Red Skid Rumba. So you got that on a Cardinal label. So unfortunately, yeah, it does have like 2 edge chips. In fact, it looks like a little bit more just chipped off. So just something that has a little bit of value. Here's just something weird I found in there. Well, let's go to the next one. That's not really that interesting now that I think about it. Here's one. It's a mystery record, being I couldn't find much about it online. It's a tango record. Another record on this of the same group on the label. Some guy's asking. I will give that disclaimer. Asking prices on eBay are usually way out of line. Somebody's actually asking $180 for one on the same label by the same group. It's on Tico Records, the Tico Tango Orchestra, Media Luz on the A side. I could not find much else about this one. I think Tito Puente did stuff on this label as well, and Uno on the other side on a Tico. Some of those tango records and rumbas and stuff can be quite collectible. We did have that expensive Mambo record, I believe it was in last week's video. It was a 45 that was quite valuable. If you remember that video. Here's one that's in good shape, but it's got a bunch of glue residue, so I need to get, I can't find my, Usually for glue residue, you can use lighter fluid to get it off, like the labels. This one says glue residue, and I did rub some of it off, but the record looks pretty good once I can get this glue residue out of there. 1957 rock and roll record. Didn't find any sale prices on Discogs. It was kind of surprising. On 45, this thing pops up regularly, but being a 57, 78, probably a little bit more scarce. It's Raunchy by Ernie Freeman. It was a great rock and roll instrumental. So a very well-known record on 45. I believe this is the first 78 copy I've ever run across in Puddin'. And like I said, it's in really nice shape, other than it has this glue residue, which I like I said, I've gotten some of it off. I think lighter fluid will get the rest of that off. So I need to remember to do that. But a very well-known rocker. There's a 1945 Jazz Bop on Savoy. Charles Ventura Quartet with Dark Eyes. It has sold for $25 on Discogs. That's the only sold comp I have. And there's that one. I always like to pick up the Savoy label stuff. And Ever So Thoughtful. Okay, we have a few more 78s, then we'll get to the 45s. From 1950, we got an R&B record. Couldn't find any sold comps on this one. Johnny Otis Orchestra, which we find a lot of Johnny Otis on 78. Freight Train Boogie on Regent. And if you've been watching the 78 videos in the last few weeks, we found a few Johnny Otis's. Good Time Blues on the B-side. So we got that. I'll put that one down. Another one, one of these sold on for $10 on a site that is not Discogs. I have that 1953 jazz record. Ahmad Jamal's Three Strings and Will You Still Be Mine on OK. And Ahmad's Blues on the B-side. So that was part of that stack of 78s I got out of there. 1953 jazz organ. I will say I did bid on one of the LP lots they had, but I got outbid. There were some like hot rod, like audio, like sound effects from like Pomona Drags and stuff records, which is kind of cool. Doug Duke Trio. This one's a 53 jazz organ record. I don't have any sold comps on it. On Savoy, If Love Is Good to Me on the A side. And so I haven't had a chance to play these yet. Song of India on the other side. So another Savoy. I always like to pick up Savoy label stuff when I can. There was one of these on eBay asking that was on for $20, but it's no longer there. Is what my so it's a 1950 blues record. On Swing Time, we had a Swing Time label, I believe, either last video or a couple videos ago. Lloyd Glenn Old Time Shuffle Blues on the Swing Time label, and Lowell Fusion Sinner's Prayer. Like I said, I did find, when I Googled it, I found one. It said there was one for sale on eBay for $20, and then it wasn't there. So maybe it sold. Who knows? That's literally the only thing. I don't have any actual concrete sold comps. We're going to go into the 45s now. Keep in mind, this lot I got for $67. It was 8 minutes from my house. The pickup day was Friday, so it wasn't too bad. And we're going to go into that right now. We got a helicopter going by. I swear, I think all the gardening, if there's any gardening going on today, it's done for the day. And then the roofers that were next door are done for the day. So I said, let's just jump into this. I had these records ready to go. First one I found, now this one is low 14, mid of 50, high of 108. This is a known artist, 1969, a Northern Soul. Considered the source is the Northern Soul side on this Leon Haywood 45. It does have a little bit of warpage here. I did play it. It does play, and just your fool. A little bit of wear. Unfortunately, I don't think most of these weren't in sleeves. Some were in those 45 books. That one might be able to be flattened out if you have one of those flattener things. But somewhat sought after Northern Soul. Like I said, I bought these based on blowing up some of the photos, and I could make out some of the records and figure out what was there, and hopefully there'd be more there. And of course, they took pictures of the stuff that probably they consider to be more interesting, which would be your bigger names, unfortunately. This one has a low of $1.50, mid of 9, high of 13. It's a soul record. The Rivingtons with Ouija Walk on Liberty. This one's actually in really nice shape. and Fairy Tales. So, not a valuable soul record, but like I said, that one's in good condition, so I kind of decided to put it in the video. Like I said, keep in mind, like, the ones that aren't in the video were a lot more playable, but they were just stuff that is probably would be really hard to sell. Unfortunately, this one has a chip in the corner. Has sold for 45 on Discogs, and there's a lot of wants. So like the wants to likes ratio is definitely in the wants section. A rock and roll teen record. I don't have a year on this one. It's the Schroyer Brothers Do the Gorilla on Durco Records. You can see it does have a chip in the corner. It does not go into the music. And Angel on the B side. So kind of a nice minor label. The Schroyer Brothers with the Esquires is what it says on there. I said that one brings as sold for 45 on Discogs before. That's the only sold comp I have, so there you go. Young Hearts, 1968. I've Got Love for My Baby. There's a low of 1, mid of 8, high of 32 from 68. And Taking Care of Business on the other side on Minute Records, a subsidiary of Liberty is what it says. That one does have some wear. I believe I played it. It played fine. A lot of these I had to clean up to play. Like they were kind of dirty. This is one of those break-in records. If you know Buchanan Good, this isn't Buchanan and Goodman. We have found those though. This is similar to that. It is from 1960. Has sold for a low of 4, mid of 11, high of 20. It is Spaceship by the Missiles on Novel Records. So it's a novelty break-in record. One of those where, you know, they stop, they do a story, then they stop, and then they kind of answer with a song. That's probably the best way I can describe it. And We Belong Together. Like I said, if you know Buchanan Goodman, you know those records, you know what this is. It's a similar thing. In fact, it says by Goodman, so one of the Goodman was involved with this one. Now we got, the roofers are coming back. Great. Hopefully they're not going to make too much noise. Hopefully they're just inspecting things. Let's see. This one is a Northern Soul banger on Merwood. Merwood's a kind of like that's known as a soul label. It's from 1966. Low of 7, mid of 30, high of 60. This one is pretty nice. The Murettes with Now That I've Found You Baby on this side. On Merwood. We found other Merwood records before, and he's all right with me, and even the label's like really crisp on this one. So that's a nice record to find. Like I said, there's definitely more than $67 worth of 45s here. I like to pick up lots. A lot of times you find stuff you wouldn't normally find or didn't know about. Another one, this one is a low of 4, mid of 15, high of 23, 1969 pop record. You probably know their other song. This is Harper's Bazaar on a promo 45 with Knock on Wood. Yes, the soul song. They're doing that one. Usually you find Feeling Groovy, that was their big hit. And then Wichai Taito on the other side on a promo. And like I said, that one does have a little bit of value. I said the one you always find by them is Feeling Groovy. That's the one you always find by Harper's Bazaar. 1965 Soul promo on Kent. So it has a low of $1.50, mid of $12.65, and a high of $18. The Hunch, Gene Taylor on Kent. This one pretty nice condition wise. And then Cut Me Loose on the other side. So kind of a neat promo copy of a soul record from 65. Next one, we got a 56 R&B record, low of $1, mid of 10, high of 45. Little Willie John, Fever. In fact, we found the Fever LP probably like 3 or 4 videos ago. It was in that one. So we had the LP of this. And Letter from My Darling. This was actually in really nice condition. That's definitely a very, very cool find to find the King 45. You can see at one point it was in somebody's platter pack. It still has the 17 on it from when it was in somebody's platter pack. So definitely a nice crisp copy of that one. Here's one we find every once in a while. In fact, I looked it up. I guess it actually did chart. And I've always thought it was more of like I know it was a local LA DJ that owned this label. 1965 Northern Soul Classic. Go Head On by the Packers on the Pure Soul Music label. And I found a few of these. This one's actually a really good copy too. So definitely has a little bit of value. And Hole in the Wall. I believe Hole in the Wall was the hit, but I think the Go Head On was the Northern Soul side. It's kind of neat to find that. And it was members of the Marquettes and some of the Stax session musicians were involved with this apparently. In fact, I even think it even says that on one of these sides. You know, one of these sides it even lists like, Cropper. So it's got, some of the Stax session musicians on that that were involved with the Booker T and the MGs and Marquettes and stuff like that, which we have some of that coming up as well. Here we have a Blues Records, sold for a low of $1.49, mid of 5, high of 6. Sonny Thompson with Hangout on Night Record, and this is a really nice copy on a black label, Night Records, and it's Hangout Part 1, and what do you think the B-side is? Yep, it's Part 2. It's one of those 2-part records. Really nice shape, instrumental, blues instrumental record. Coming up on the next one, this one is sold for a low of $1, mid of 9, high of 16. Pretty clean copy on Stax. We got Sophisticated Sissy by Rufus Thomas. Kind of a nice copy too. And Greasy Spoon on the other side. Always nice to pick up that Stax Soul and Stax Volt. Found that Volt Northern Soul banger, I don't know, about a month or two ago. I will say, a couple people would comment like, "Oh, we're great to have the channel back," because at one point I'd stopped doing it for a while, and I decided, okay, I'm going to start it up again, see how it goes. This one, I wish it was in better shape, but it actually plays well, and it's actually pretty nice. This was a 1966 Northern Soul. It was a return, so it's got a hole drilled in it. 13, low of 13, mid of 40, high of 95. 1 in a Million by Maxine Brown. You can see the holes drilled. It did not sell, and it was returned. You see, it's a good shape. Anything You Do Is All Right. This is on wand. Actually, I got to look because I know there's a wand sleeve like mixed in with some of the random 45s. So I should probably throw that in the wand sleeve. Here's one, the artist, and you probably don't own any of his stuff on 45 unless it's like something more common. This is Jimi Hendrix. Yes, a Jimi Hendrix 45. It's got a little bit of wear. It does play. I did play both sides. Low of 10, mid of 29, high of $80 on this one. This is Hendrix Band of Gypsies with Stepping Stone. White label promo on Reprise. That's something, and then the B-side is Isabella. The only thing I think of is, did they send this to like those AM gold stations and then expect them to play it? Because, Hendrix is more of like an album rock thing, and they would be playing like the album cuts, I would imagine, the full album or something. So, I don't know, but kind of weird to find a promo 45. I think I run across like Purple Haze every once in a while on 45, but definitely not that. Kind of an interesting Jimi Hendrix for you there. Definitely not something I will come across very often. That one's actually from 1970, according to the intranets. There's a 65 Garage record, a low of 6, mid of 20, high of 43. Mickey Finn, This Sporting Life, and actually the wax is nice. The label's got some wear. And Night Comes Down on the other side on a World Artist label. World is the label on that one. Always find a nice garage records. Another soul. This guy had a lot of soul stuff. Said the LPs weren't too great. They did have some soul set for LPs, but nothing that was like it would make me want to bid on the lots. Another promo record. Low of 2, mid of 5, high of 16. It's the Ikeettes. So Ike Turner's project there on Modern. Peaches and Cream. It is a promo copy, even though it does not show a white label. And you can see that there's definitely some notes that were written on there at one time. And The Biggest Players. Same thing on the other side. So on Modern Records, kind of a fun one. One, you know the artist, and it's kind of an interesting format here, because this is from 1961, low of 2, mid of 13. Somebody paid $115 for one of these. It must have been sealed. It is Elvis by request on a compact 33 double. There you go, Flaming Star. So it's got Flaming Star, Summer Kisses, Winter Tears on the other side, Are You Lonesome Tonight, and It's Now or Never on a Elvis by request from 61. And these were 37-inch 33 records with the small hole. And the jukeboxes would actually switch to 33 if you had this in your jukebox that would have that feature, which Seberg did beginning with the Q series, which I did have one. And then I know the Wurlitzers do too. Like I have a Wurlitzer that has that feature, but nobody ever really puts these kinds of records in there. In fact, usually people disable the feature so they can put the European 45s in there without the holes drilled. So there you go, an Elvis picture sleeve compact 33 double, which you don't see those very often. Not, you know, I don't know if I ever come across a compact 33 Elvis like that. So definitely cool for the Elvis collection. Another one on Stax we got for 62. Of course, it's a soul record because I just told you it was on Stax. Low of 2, mid of 7, high of 16. It's pretty clean. It's the Marquees. That's what I meant to say, the Marquees earlier. I might have said the Marquettes earlier. Thinking surf music. For the Packers 45. I meant the Marquees. Otherwise someone's going to correct me. Podunk. Just in case I did say that. I might have said that now I think about it. And Popeye Stroll on a very nice Stax record there. Very clean copy. Definitely keeping that one for the collection because I don't remember having that one. I always say that, and I go back and I find it like a week later that I did have it already. Here's a hard bop. There was actually a few Blue Notes in there. I didn't do them all because people like to find Blue Note stuff, but I think the jazz guys really prefer the LPs. Low of 2, mid of 6, high of 11. We got Lou Donaldson's with The Truth on Blue Note. Very clean copy, and Goose Grease on the other side. I said, if you're a jazz guy and you got a jukebox, fine, but other than that, I think the jazz guys are really, this one's hard bop. The jazz guys are really after the LPs more than anything. And Blue Note stuff isn't like, most of your time aren't incredibly rare. Here's a weird one. It's a comedy promo record. I don't even have a year on this one. Low of 4, mid of 5, high of 6 on Warner Brothers. For radio programming, the best of Don Rickles Speaks. So, and it's got, so the Don Rickles, so I guess they're the ones you could play on the radio where he's not using certain words. And I said, not a valuable one, but kind of cool. I like Don Rickles. I think most of us like Don Rickles. Here's one that has a higher value than I really thought it did, but on a 45, I was kind of surprised when I looked up the value because it's a pretty well-known song. At least it was played on like the oldie stations quite a bit over here. 1968 soul record, low of $1.50, mid of 10, high of 20, and this one's pretty crisp. The Horse, Cliff Nobles and Company on Filet of Soul label. It's actually a really nice copy. And Love Is All Right on the B side. I think we all know The Horse. It's an instrumental soul track on Filet of Soul. Coming into this one, there's only one sold comp on Discogs, which is kind of surprising for this label variation. 1950, I think it was 1957. It looks like 1951, but I don't think this is from 1951. On Madison Records, it's the Viscounts with Harlem Nocturne, which is an instrumental. It's pretty well known. And Dig on the other side. Looks like the original owner lived in San Francisco. It's got the label on it. And I believe I did play that, but it's a pretty well-known song. So only one copy of that label variation is ever sold on Discogs for $10. So that's one. Here's one I do not have a value on. It's a 1960 record. Because it's talking about 1961. Kind of a weird one. Sometimes you find these unusual records. It is a 33 1/3 RPM 7-inch Allstate Insurance, Target, $402. Set the full, that's not what it's worth. That's what it says on the record. Sell the full circle. It's a one-sided disc. And it's like a little Dixieland song, you know, trying to get the Allstate agents pepped up to what do you call it, to sell insurance. That was mixed in with these 45s, and I thought it was something kind of interesting, so I threw it in the video. Okay, we're going to get into the ones that maybe I didn't value, but we can just kind of cruise through them. A lot of it's stuff you know, the stuff you know that was playable, that would be of interest, just to kind of give you an idea what to look out for. Of course, people like the Apple label stuff. We got Imagine, John Lennon and the Plastic Ono Band. I think you know what that is. It's so hard on the B side. We can cruise through these. Obviously, there's interest in that for jukeboxes, for any Beatles, John Lennon fanatics. Of course, I think anybody, most people know that song. Or another Apple label. We got The Long and Winding Road by those Beatles that everyone's talking about. I always mention there's that one guy that does nothing but Beatles records on YouTube, and he makes it work. So, For You Blue is the B-side. All right, we're going to move on to the next Beatles record on Apple. So we've got, this one's in good shape as well. Definitely something you could play, because it is something you could play. It's the song Something. All right, and Come Together is the B-side on that one from those Beatles. Another artist you definitely know from 1967. Once again, I didn't value these because they're probably, you know, they're not crazy value. Doors, Love Me Two Times and this is not a first pressing. This is a spun gold Electra label, so this is probably like going into an early 70s pressing. The other side is Light My Fire. So a nice double A. Now we got fire trucks going. There actually was an earthquake, like probably half an hour before I started filming this video. You can believe that. It wasn't a bad one. I was just kind of like chilling out, looking through some stuff on the internet. I'm like, I think there's an earth. It was very minor, but it was enough that I knew there was an earthquake. We got Booker T and the MGs with Groovin' on Stax. This is actually in pretty good shape too. And Slim Jenkins Place. I always like to find Booker T on Stax. More Beatles, because we're going back there. I didn't put these in any sort of order, obviously, are the Beatles. This one has what's left of a picture sleeve, so we'll just leave it in there. Let It Be. And you know my name, look up my number, if you remember that one. Of course, Beatles always popular. Someone will always want to pick up a Beatles. Here's one with a picture sleeve, not Beatles. It is The Limbo Rock by Chubby Checker, with Popeye on the other side. And there you go, on Parkway. I said nothing crazy value-wise. Nice to have a picture sleeve, though. Another Blue Note. I'm not gonna take. I don't think I'm gonna take these out of the sleeve anymore, unless it's something interesting. It's Jimmy Smith, the Organ, CC Rider on Blue Note from 1959. I said there was quite a few Blue Notes in there. Another Stax. We'll pull this one out because it's nice. Hip Hugger by Booker T and the MGs on Stax, as well as Summertime on the B. Nothing wrong with that Stax. All right, you like Sam Cooke? So do I. We got Sam Cooke on Keen Records, Blue Moon, and Love You Most of All on the other side. Everybody loves Sam Cooke. And just because you want more Sam Cooke from 1959, we got Only 16 on Keen again. And we've got Let's Go Steady Again. A great Sam Cooke classic there. Let's see what we got. 1961. This record comes up so much, but this one's a nice copy. So I'm sure someone would definitely want this one for the jukebox or their collection. Lion Sleeps Tonight on RCA Victor by the Tokens. I think everybody watches this channel knows what that is, so we're not going to dwell too much. Here's one I found. In fact, I was at the place going through the records, and I saw the record label on the sleeve, and knew exactly what it was because it's pretty much the only thing you ever find in this country on that label. It's on Jad Records. Johnny Nash, "Hold Me Tight" with the picture sleeve. I got several copies of this. I do not have one with the Jad sleeve, I don't believe, and Cupid on the other side. So nice Jamaican rhythm there. 1974, we love our funk 45s and funk LPs. Parliament, up for the downstroke on Casablanca. Gotta love the P-Funk. And Presence of a Brain is the B-side on that one on Casablanca Records. Next, we've got from 1968. This one was returned, even though it was a big hit. This is a 1968 soul record. Everybody knows what this is. Marvin Gaye. I heard it through the grapevine on Motown Tamla. So I don't think I've ever seen. Usually the big hits weren't returned. And You're What's Happening in the World Today is the B-side on the Motown Tamla. I love Marvin Gaye. Okay, we're going to go another Blue Note hard bop from 61. Lou Donaldson with Daydreams. And what's the other side? Hogmaw on the other side on a Blue Note 45. Here's one that pops up pretty regularly from 62. Dave Baby Cortez with Rinky Dink. Nice instrumental classic on Chess label. Julia is, it's Julia Chess. Okay, I see. It's Getting Right is the other side on that one. There we go. I need to find, you find that one every once in a while. That was a hit. That's in good shape. Definitely playable. Because you wanted more Sam Cooke, but on a different label. We are having a party on RCA Victor. That's the name of the song. We're having a party. This one's not in as good a shape, but again, I believe it played okay. In fact, that's one. I love that song. Bring On Home to Me is the B-side on that one. Definitely a good double-sided record there. Two great sides of Sam Cooke. A little worn out, but it does play fine. Here's one Sinatra. This is a Sinatra with a picture sleeve. Part 3 of Sinatra's Swingin' Sessions has sold for $4 on Discogs from 1961. So there you go. Has a picture of Sinatra on the back. The record's really, really nice. So kind of a cool 7-inch Sinatra EP. Yeah, okay, this one's part 3 of whatever. It has Should I, September in the Rain, Concentrate on You, and You Do Something to Me is the songs on that one. I should have mentioned that. Another one from 1970. The label is all butchered. On Stang Records, If I Didn't Care, The Moments. And You Make Me Feel Good on the other side. We have mentioned that was from 70. Let's see, next one. 1971. Another soul record from Marvin Gaye. This is in really nice shape on Motown Tamla. What's Going On? And God Is Love was the B-side on that one. I think everybody knows What's Going On, Marvin Gaye. I find a lot of people do like to see the ones that they know, just to see you find them, I guess. Because like that video, a couple of videos ago, where it was that record lot, where it was a lot of like what I call normal stuff, and that video actually did really well. So, I mean, there was that Paramount in there. That was probably the only thing that was completely weird in that one. Bristol Stomp by the Dovells. We found that Dovells picture sleeve, I believe it was in last week's video, the Hully Gully. This one on Parkway as well. Letters of Love. Again, nice thing about these is they aren't really super expensive. Songs people know that you get into collecting 45s, they're great to pick up. 74 soul record. No, it's not anything crazy. I bet you didn't know that. Frederick Knight. This one's really clean. And Let's Make a Deal. So, like I said, these are all part of that same lot. So that's all I have. I don't have. Well, no, I have more records here, but all I have in this video, I should say, is stuff from that lot, or from that sale, or that lot, the one lot, and then the 78s that I had to pay a separate price for. Tell Mama, Savoy Brown on Parrot, Blues Rock promo from 71. And it says both sides are Tell Mama. Kind of a neat record. Let's see. We got another 59 Jazz Blue Note. The three sounds, Going Home and Time After Time. Not the Cyndi Lauper song. Sorry. And we got another one from 1970, another Marvin Gaye. This one's really nice. In fact, I was playing this one, I believe, yesterday. End of Our Road. And Me in My Lonely Room. This one doesn't look like it's been played very much either. 1970 by Marvin Gaye on Motown Tamla. Here's one of those AB, like, oldie series records that it's a double hit, double A side. We got the Hollies with Carrie Ann. These aren't worth too much, but they're great for jukeboxes. And He Ain't Heavy Is My Brother on the B side from the Hollies. So that was in there. I think that was about the only AB, like, oldie series record that was in there, which usually you find those mixed in with, like, original label stuff. Of course, that was an early on one that did that. It's probably from the early 70s or so. They put that particular one out. Never Been to Spain, Three Dog Night. Now, it's pretty crisp. You find a lot of Three Dog Night on 45. And Peace of Mind. So definitely a lot. I've bought record lots where there was a ton of, like, Three Dog Night in them. You do find that a lot. Dionne Warwick on Scepter Records. You'll Never Get to Heaven. Of course, written by Burt Bacharach. And A House Is Not a Home. Also written by Burt Bacharach. By Dionne Warwick. If you knew that was coming, you must be a psychic friend. That's a joke. It's real late in the video. I can go there. We got the Bee Gees. I was playing this one yesterday, too. How Can You Mend a Broken Heart on Atco. Earlier Bee Gees. Pre-disco Bee Gees. And Country Woman. Of course, a big hit, but in that shape. So I'm sure somebody would very much like to own that one. Another great soul song from 1972. This one's very nice. It's got a few scratches. I was playing yesterday. It sounded fine. Chi-Lites, Oh Girl. And Being in Love. Definitely a great soul hit from 1972. I think most of you guys know that song. Here's one. Oh, that's right. Okay, I just mentioned that we have another back-to-back oldies series, probably from the early 70s. The Association on Warner Brothers, back-to-back hits. Never My Love on this side. And Windy, another big hit for the Association on the B side on that one. That one's in really good condition. Good jukebox record there. One of those Part 1, Part 2 records. You probably heard it on the radio a lot. Probably the album version was all the way through. The Intruders, I'll Always Love My Mama. There you go. It's Part 1, and then we got Part 2 on Gamble Records. Again, nothing setting the world on fire, but one of those great soul hits. And now for something a little bit different than soul, we got Johnny Cash. I was actually playing this one yesterday as well. This one is Sunday Morning Coming Down on Columbia. I think we all know that one. And I'm going to Try to Be That Way is the B side on that one. This one's actually from the LP from his TV show. So that's the version of that one. We're going back into soul. We got Wilson Pickett and Don't Let the Green Grass Fool Ya on Atlantic. It does have somebody's sticker there. And Ain't No Doubt About It is the B-side on the Atlantic 45. Very well-known Wilson Pickett song. And our final 45 of the video. There were other 45s in the lot. I didn't want to make the video go on for like 2 hours, and the rest of it was kind of stuff that really wasn't super interesting, or the condition was just horrid. For once in my life, Stevie Wonder on Motown Tamla. One everybody knows, and Angie Girl. This one's 1968. Motown Tamla always puts the years on their records. At least they usually do. So that's what I got. I do have some records already lined up for a video next week that I got at a thrift store, not an estate sale. Imagine that. I was at a local thrift store I like to go to. We donated some stuff, and went in, and the guy was putting out fresh records, which is usually when you want to be at the thrift store. And I found some very interesting records from Taiwan from people you have heard of. We'll say that. And they were unofficial releases, and those will be in next week's video, along with a lot of other cool stuff I found that they were just putting out at the thrift store. In fact, I need to go back today and see if they put out some more stuff from this guy's collection after I get done filming this. So I'll be doing that, and I'll have a video. I definitely have stuff for a video for next week. Hopefully there'll be some good sales popping up this week. Right now, everything's kind of dismal, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I do have the records I found at the thrift store yesterday. Check out my other channels, Mike Frankovich, which is my car show channel. My AI music channels, which are Vinyl Interior, which are car-related songs that sometimes they're a bit goofy. Sometimes they're pretty straightforward, as well as Record Hop, which is my channel that is basically cruising oldies and soul and doo-wop and stuff like that. I try not to get too goofy with the premises on that one. Just kind of started it because I noticed on the other channel the stuff that was more doo-wop and less goofy premise was doing quite well, and I thought maybe it should be on its own channel. So that's what I got for you this week. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We've got slightly over 800 subscribes right now, and when I get to 1,000, I could probably make a few bucks off of this and not let YouTube take all the money from the ads they're showing you. So once we get to that point, it will be a little bit nicer. Even though at 1,000 you don't really make that much. But make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave some comments about the records I found in this week's video. Be sure to check out future videos, and until next time, I'll be seeing you.